Hi, this is Jeff from the Ozark Mountains in Missouri, USA. Short little video today about replacing the battery in the Sharp CE-160, 161, and 163 RAM modules. Sharp originally introduced a 4K RAM module and then an 8K. They eventually came out with the 16K, which had a backup battery. And then late in the life of the PC-1500 and 1600, they released the 163, which has two 16K banks. And along the way, there was the CE-160, which is the special 8K RAM module. It does have a battery backup. It takes a special writer, the CE-165, to write to it. And it was intended for businesses to use and to treat more like a ROM. I won't be replacing the batteries in one of these today, but we'll take one of these apart and show you the insides. I'll show you pictures of the inside of a CE-163. I've already done this one. I don't want to take it back apart. And we'll compare that to the CE-161. And you'll see they're all very, very similar. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to take apart this CE-161 because the little shutter deal here is stuck. I don't know why. And to take these apart, you might just be able to notice this little puckering right here and right here. There's a couple tabs in there that interlock it. And what I found, if you put one finger here, you might just be able to see that, and one there. Your fingernails like that, and you can get that started. Same thing over here. This one's going to be harder. Oh, that one doesn't want to pop out as easy. So we'll take a spudger. I'll try to get in here. And if nothing else, we can start it right up at the front here. Under this little guy. Oh, good. I'm glad I picked one that wants to be kind of difficult. There we go. Now we got it. Spudger to the rescue. Just take your time. Okay. Don't want to break it. Oops, that was partially out of the way, but just take the little hook end of the spudger and kind of go down the crack like that and pop it loose. Then this one's a little more difficult because this shutter thing is stuck. Okay, I got him pulled out. So now I can pull the bottom off. The circuit board's going to come with that. And we've got our top here. And if you push on this side of the top like this, just very gently, you can pop him right out of there. That's what you want to do. I'm going to set those aside. And now you'll see the battery. And you notice when you go to order a battery that the tabs that are welded on here are right across the diameter of like this, whereas this one, they're slightly cattywampus. So we got to be careful how we put the new battery back in so we have the right spacing. I'll pop a picture up here that shows you the measurements from the edge of the board. So we'll go ahead and pop the board out of there now. It just kind of sits down in there like that. And you notice we have a spring in here, yay. And this little clear disc. I'll post a picture of the spring orientation in here. The basic idea is you want the spring like that, with a little disc on top of it, and then we'll put the board back in like so. And that's all there is to it. And this battery hasn't leaked, but it has started to swell. So, prerequisite old man glasses. Battery's easy to get off of there. I should have put a different tip in the iron. This is a pointy little tip. Not my favorite one for this sort of thing, but it'll work. Pull that side off. Pull that side off. Okay, now I'm going to use the soldering iron to get this extra solder off here. You could use a wick or a hand-activated solder pole type of thing, whatever you've got. Okay. Clean that up with a Q-tip soaked in alcohol. Get any of that old flux off of there. I've used my ruler here to position the battery. As you can see, it gets the leads not right centered on the pad, but they're touching where they need to touch. And we want to make sure that this lead is not touching the end of that diode right there. Okay, that is tacked in place. I'm going to change my tip. I have the wrong tip in this guy. Okay, I'll put a small chisel tip on. Now I'm going to hold the battery in place, solder this up properly. The bigger the soldering iron tip, the better heat transfer you're going to have. Okay, that is that. Go ahead and clean any solder residue up. Okay. Okay, here on the left we have the CE-160 board, and here on the right is the CE-161 we just put a battery in, and you can see they look an awful lot alike. If we turn this over, we can see here that on this 161 board we have two regular looking RAM chips, and on the CE-160 we have a couple blobs. These are actually the dies that are bonded to the board, and they put this epoxy over it to hold them in place. There's a couple extra chips. It's kind of an interesting construction. And some of the 161s will look similar to this, but they may have 4 blocks of chips without the extra 2 ICs right here. Just depends on the age. So, and here again is the picture of that 163, which you can see is about the same. So, in this orientation, the part of the spring that is here on the right goes on top, wraps around a couple times, exits on the left. And then we've got the little plastic washer thing on top of that, so you don't short out to the board. And we want to place our circuit board directly down on top of that, real gently. Just pop him in there like that. Then we're going to put the case right on top of that. Usually they'll just snap down like that, and you'll notice we have our spring right here. You can just see that. So I have found the easiest way to do this is to look inside here, and you can see on this side there's like a little bump on the bottom. That is the spring side. So we'll turn this upside down, spring side to spring side, center the spring, like so. Slip that in there like that. You want to push up on the center of what's on the bottom now, like this. There we go. So now we have a new battery, and we fixed the shutter. The switch right here, if it's down at the dot, it is going to act like a ROM cart. So you can program it, flip it, and then you can't write to it. Up, it'll act just like RAM. And the 160 doesn't have that, of course, because they messed with the write enable line on that. And the 163 has the same sort of switch. It's marked 1 and 0 though. And now I'm going to make a little sticker like this to put on there to remind me when I change the battery. And that'll be that.